So with that being said, here is a peek at the new system. As you can see, it looks a lot different than our current system. What we've done is we've tried to give it a more similar in appearance to the PSE website. So we're hoping that that will help with some of the items that we are getting ready to go into. You will also notice that tabs at the top are a little bit different, as well as you'll no longer see the buttons off to the left-hand side. And over here in the right-hand corner is something that we've added as well, which is we are going to refer to as our header links. So there's a lot of different things on this page. So let's go ahead and step into it. The first item that's listed here in the header link is our register. So if you are not currently a user in our current system, you will need to come in and make sure that you register in our system. And to do so, you just click on the register link in our in the header links and just fill out all of the necessary and the required fields. As you will note, any field that is required in this new system will have the orange left border on it. So if it's a required field, you will see that information listed there, or that orange border the orange left border on that field if it is a required field. So this is only if you are not a current user in our current system. If you are a user in our current system, you do not create a new account. What you will do is you will come over here to this login link, which is our next link under the header links. Once you click that login link, what you will do is you will click this underneath the login button is forgot your password. When you click that forgot your password, what you're going to do is you're going to plug in the email address that is tied to your current account in current EFIS. If you use a group email account, you'll want to make sure that you change that prior to EFIS 2.0 being implemented. And the reason that is because this new system is driven off of email addresses. We will no longer be using user IDs. So if you have a group email address, you'll want to make sure that you change your email address prior to implementation of this new system to an individual email address that is specific to the user themselves, not the group email one. If you need to use a group email one, I will show you how to add that as your default email notification later on in this presentation. But for those of you that do have an account and do use a group account, you'll want to make sure that you change that to an individual email account prior to switching over. So if you have your email account set up and it's individual, unique to yourself, you go ahead and plug in your email address. Once you plug in your email address, you click submit. When you click submit, you're then going to receive an email notification. So let's just go ahead and I'll show you what that looks like. You click your forgot your password, plug in my email address, hit submit. Then it's going to tell you to check your email to reset it. So let's go to the email. And you're going to receive a reset password. When you click on that reset password, you then click on the reset password. When you click the reset password, you're brought back to this reset password page, redirect it back to EFIS. All you do is plug in your email address, and then you set up a new password, and then you just confirm it. Once you confirm that information, you click submit, then you can log into the system from there. So that's something that you guys will be required to do once you start back in the system on September 5th. Once you reset everything and ready to log in, then all you have to do is come to the login page, plug in your information. Once I plug in my email address and my password, click login. Sometimes what you will see is you will be required to do a two-factor authentication. Once you do that, or once you set that up, what that is driven off of, or what the two-factor authentication is triggered by, is if the user uses or logs into EFIS, every time that they attempt to log into EFIS with a new internet browser, they will be required to do that two-factor authentication. But if they use the same internet browser and they do not clean their cache, they will only be required to change that they will only be requested that every 14 days. So that confirmation code will then come into your email from the EFIS login screen, or the EFIS login email. And then all you have to do is just copy your confirmation code and plug it into the system here. Click submit, and now you're logged into the system. So like I said, that two-factor authentication email is triggered every time that a user attempts to log into EFIS in a new internet browser. If you're using the same internet browser, you won't get requested for that information, but every 14 days. So that's something that we have added to the system to help with security issues or security purposes. All right, so as you can see, I'm logged in as myself or as a user. In the top, you notice my header links have changed. So the first one being my dashboard. Like I said, the dashboard is a new management tool, which contains all of your account information. It contains all of your submissions. You can set up customized email notifications, things like that. All of that information can be found under your dashboard, and it's geared specifically for the user that's logged into the system. Most every user that logs into the system will be directed to their dashboard no sooner than they log into the system. So this is what it's going to look like once you log in. So as you can see, under the first tab here is our account tab, and the first link that's listed here is your summary. So under your account summary, this is going to give you all of your pertinent information about yourself or about the user that is logged into the system. You have the ability to manage any of your contact information from here. So if you needed to manage, let's say, your email address, all you would have to do is come in and click manage, and it will take you to that manage screen to be able to update any email addresses for your login information, or for your in order to receive email notifications. You can manage any of those emails from here. You can also manage those from any individual list that's listed here under your account. So if you needed to change anything under your address, if you needed to add an address or something like that, what you need to do is you just need to come and click your add address. Once you click that, plug in the information that you need. If this is going to be your primary address, which means if we're adding you to a service list or we need to mail you anything, this is the address that we will be sending things to you at. So if it is your primary, you'll want to make sure that you check the box for primary. If you forget to do that and you submit it and you need to change that after that address has been added, it's real easy to change that. All you have to do is check the box in front of the address for your primary address. So if that's something that needs to be changed, it's really to do after you've added the address as well. If you need to close any of them, all you have to do is click the close button, and it will close that out for you if you need to. Next link that's listed under the account is the email list. Under the email list, this is where you will go if you want to add group email accounts. So for instance, if I'm in the consumer services department and I want to make sure that I receive all requests from our from the PSC's customer service department, I want to make sure that I set up my default email notification or my default email to my group email. So if that's something that you need to add to your account after you've logged into the system, this is where you would go to add that login or that email address. Again, all you have to do is click on the add email address accordion, and it will give you the information listed below. All you have to do is plug in that group email account and then check the box for default email notification or default notification email. Once I plug all that information in, I click submit, and now I have added all my email addresses. If you forget, again, you do have the ability to check the box for default notification email in front of the email address that you want to set as your default email notifications. The next item listed here, or the next link, is the phone list link. Under the phone list, if you needed to add any new phone numbers or anything like that, you can add that at that time. Or if you needed to close any of them, you could close those as well. The next item listed here is your attorney list. Under the attorney list, this is where I can go to add any attorney information if I wanted to. So if you have multiple states that you are, if you have multiple states that you have attorneys or that you are attorney in, you can list those out as well. I do see that I have one question out here. It says, is close the same as delete? If I close any of these accounts, though, what I have to do, so if I'm in this address list and I needed to close out an account, I close it out. It's going to ask you, are you sure you want to close this record? You hit confirm. When you hit confirm, it actually just shows it closed on yours. It's not going to delete it from there. It's just going to show it as closed. So whenever you close it, you can check the box right below address list that says include close, and you can see your address. It doesn't delete it totally from your account. It just closes it on your account. Does that answer your question, Bill? If it doesn't, let me know, or we can chat after. Okay, perfect. All right. All right, so like I said, the attorney list, if you are an attorney in multiple states, you can add that information. All of this information for your account should automatically roll over to this new account. So if this information is currently in the current EFIS system, it will roll over to this new EFIS or EFIS 2.0. So you shouldn't have to add anything unless you need to make changes. This is where you would go to make those changes. The next link that's listed here, and the last link under the account tab, is your security tab. Under the account security, this is where you can go to change your password. So this system is also set up for every 90 days, you will be asked to change your password or confirm your password, to basically change your password. And this is where you would go to change that password, is in the password section. The next item listed here is the next section is to change your account email. This is for your login email. So whenever you're logging into the system, if you need to change that login email address, this is where you would go to change that login email address. And then the last one listed here is for changing your security question or answer. If you need to change that for any reason, this is where you could go to change that security question and answer. We do use this security question and answer section if we need to verify your identity. If you need to make changes or something to your account, we may ask you that information for security purposes. So account security, I can go in and change my password. I can change my login account email address, or I can change my security question and answer. The next tab that's listed here is my company representative tab. So under my company representative tab, this is where I can go to display. If I click the display, it's going to show me all companies that I'm linked to. So the links in the current system, if you're currently linked to a company, those links are going to also carry over. So if you have multiple companies that you represent, they should still show up under this display option under the company representative tab. Underneath the management link is where I'm going to go. If I am an official representative of a company, I will be able to see any I will be able to see all representatives for my company. I will also see anything pending. So if there is a user that wants to be linked to my company as an official representative, I have the ability to approve that pending registration. Also, the data center can approve those pending registrations, but as an official representative, that's one of your main tasks, is to approve any of those pending registrations. So you'll notice here at the top underneath the representative status, it should automatically pull up anything pending, and you should receive an email notification anytime anyone requests to be added or to be linked to your company. If you wanted to see anyone that users that are approved, all you have to do is change that status to approved. You can look at closed, you can look at denied. So you have different options to look for under that. To approve anyone that is pending, all you have to do is basically review their information and either click the approve or the deny option. So if you are an official representative, you will have that management link underneath the company representative tab. And that is basically to manage all the contacts for your companies that you are the official representative of. So if you need to close any reps, let's say that there's a representative like an attorney that no longer represents my company, all I have to do is close them from this point. So again, I'm going to click the close button beside their record. Once I do that, I can click the confirm. When I click confirm, it's going to close them from my list. So then if I come and see all of them, I can see which ones are approved, which ones are pending, and which ones have been closed just by looking at the representative status over here on the left-hand or right-hand side. So like I said, this management link is only available to official representatives. If you're not an official representative, you shouldn't have that management link. So this is only for official reps. The next tab that's listed is my submission list. So if I submit documents in EFIS, I can quickly and easily access any document that I've submitted in our system. So as you can see here at the top, I can separate out, or I can sort and filter out any data that I'm looking for by inputting any search criteria in here, or I can scroll to the bottom and look up that information. What you will notice here at the top of the columns is returning 10 of 30. We now give you guys the ability to return all items at one time or to display all items at one time versus only showing 10 on a page. So hopefully that will help a lot of users out. We give you the ability to return up to 3,000 items per page. Anything over 3,000 you'll have to do in multiple pages, but hopefully, we don't have to worry about that in most screens. Also at the top of all of the columns on all of our search screens, or most of our search screens, anything that is underlined in that column is a sortable field. So if you need to sort by that field, all you have to do is click on that column heading and it will sort for you if you need to sort by it, whether it be ascending or descending, whichever way you need to sort, you can sort by that if need be. Also note, anything that is in blue font is a linked field. So if you click on that link, it will take you to that area in EFIS versus having to try to remember that password try to remember that submission number or copy and paste that submission number to another screen. I can easily access and send or see that information just by clicking on the link itself. So anytime you submit anything in EFIS, if you want to refer back to it, you can easily get back to that through the submission list underneath your dashboard. The next tab listed on your dashboard is your email subscription list. Under the email subscription list, this is where I can go and set up those custom notifications. So if you want to self-subscribe to any types of notifications from EFIS, this is where you can go to set that up. So if I wanted to set up, let's say, new case submissions, I can come in and give it a unique name for myself. So then that way I know what I'm looking for. So if I'm looking for new case submissions, I come to my submission type and I can set up any customized notifications in regards to anything that's listed here. So if I wanted to see it for all new case submissions, I'm going to choose my submission type as case. I can actually narrow it down to the type of case. So if I'm only interested in rate cases, I could do that, or any type of case I can submit, or I can select whatever type of case I'm only interested in to receive those notifications. As far as the action goes, because I want to receive new case notifications, all I have to do is click on this new submission created. But I also have any filings created on an existing case, or any status changes, or any calendar entries. So these are the actions that you can set up to receive those, or to self-subscribe to those email notifications. So if I wanted new cases, I'm going to do new submission types. I can even narrow it down by utility type if I wanted to. So if I'm only wanting to, or only concerned with electric cases, I can just choose electric. If not, I can leave that open. As well as if I wanted to narrow it down by the type of filing, I can do that as well. So maybe you want to receive all testimony in a certain case, you can set that up from here as well. And I can sort it out by company if I wanted to. The nice thing too about this email subscription list is I can set it up to notify me how often I want to receive those notifications, whether that be once a day, once a week, or as soon as they're filed in our system. So this is something that is unique to the user. They can self-subscribe to most notifications in our system and set them up with the way that they want to. So that's something new that we've added to this system to hopefully help with those customized notifications if that's something that you're interested in. The next item listed here is the request list. Under the request list, this is going to be for any data request or any information request from the PSC. So if the Public Service Commission is requesting information from your company or yourself, you should have access to that. If you are the required contact type for that company, you should see that in your drop-down list or in your search results below. It should default to your data request option unless you do not have that option, as far as you're not a data request contact person or an attorney or something like that. If you're a customer service rep, it should then default to your information request. So if you're involved in any informal complaints, or you will see this utility event. In the current system, we refer to utility events as outage and incidents. In the new system, all outage and incidents are going to be referred to as utility events. So we did change that name in this new system. So when we are referring to utility events, that means outage or incidents. So you have easy access to all information that's requested from you or from your company if you need to get to that information. If you are in the customer services department in your company, and you wanted to see any requests that were sent to that group account because you're logged in as yourself, what you will want to do is, in order to respond to that information, if they do not select, and when I say they, our customer services department has to select which person they need to send that to. And a lot of companies have set it up to send to a specific group. So when that happens, they have to select that group. And if they send it to the group, then certain individuals cannot respond to that. In this new system, it's going to be real easy for you guys, any person to respond, as long as they're a customer service rep for that company. All you have to do is to come to this request list. It's going to default to your name as the requested from person, but all you have to do is change that, take that name off of there and click the select person, and then select the company that you're looking for. Once you do that and hit search, now I can see all requests for that individual group versus being sent to an individual person. Here's where you would go then to reply to any of those informal complaints or inquiries. So this request list is only information that's requested from the PSC to the companies that you represent and that you have access to. The last item, or the last tab that's listed here, is your service list tab. So if you are involved in a lot of cases or things like that, and you are set on a service list, this will give you easy access to any service list that you are involved, any cases that you were involved in, that you were a party to. It will show that information listed here underneath the service list. So you can quickly and easily get to those cases if you need to refer back to them. So your dashboard is something that's geared specifically for the user that's logged into the system. It's going to give you all of your account information. It's going to give you anything that you submitted. You can set up customized notifications. So there's a lot of information out here on your dashboard that will allow you to quickly and easily access a lot of information that you do in the system, to be able to quickly and easily get to that information without having to go through a lot of steps to get to that information. Any questions over the dashboard? All right, let's go ahead then and move on. The next link that's up here in our header link is the log out button. When you log out, it will log you out of the system. Then you will be brought back to the login, or you'll have to be click the login button to log back in. I will let you guys know, again, this system is set up for 20 minutes of inactivity. So if you're inactive on the system, after 20 minutes, it will automatically log you out of the system. You'll have to log back in like you currently do in our current system. So that's something that has not changed. If you are inactive in our system for 20 minutes, over 20 minutes, then it will log you out of the system automatically. The next link that's listed here in the header links is our help directory. Under our help directory, these are going to be all of your step-by-step instructions on how to do pretty much anything in EFIS. In our current system, that is going to be located over here on the left-hand side of your screen under the help button. These are all the step-by-step instructions on how to do pretty much anything in EFIS. that is now going to be located here at the top in our header links. So if you need to figure out how, or you need to find out how to do something, this is the area where you could go to find out those, or to see those step-by-step instructions. What you will also notice is on most pages, there is a yellow help button or a gold help button at the top of most pages. And what that help button does is it actually gives you those step-by-step instructions or instructions on how to do anything on that page. So if you're working on that page and you want to find out, or you want to see how to do something, if you click that help button, it should give you those step-by-step instructions on how to do pretty much anything on that page in specific, instead of having to go back to the help directory to try to locate the instructions for that page. We've given you that access directly from the page itself. So that's something that we've added that is new on almost all pages in EFIS. All right, let's go ahead and take a peek before we get to the tabs here at the top. You will also notice in this left-hand upper corner, there's some links that are listed here, and this is another navigation tool for you. We call these breadcrumbs. So if we are referring to something as a breadcrumb, what this allows you to do is it allows you to go back to the third previous page that you've been on. So if I needed to go back to this email subscription list, I can easily do that without having to hit the back button 3 times. Or like I said, the back button does work. So if you needed to go back to something, you have that ability to go back, or you can go forward however you want to. So a lot of navigation tools that we've added to this new system to hopefully help in that aspect of being able to navigate our system a little bit easier. So breadcrumbs here at the top on the left-hand side. That is the ability to go back up to the third previous page that I've been on. All right, so let's